Regular council meeting of Tuesday, January 23rd to order. I respectfully acknowledge that this meeting is being held on the traditional territory of the Clouded people, Gala Hessa. May I have approval of the agenda as presented, moved by Councillor Tidbury, seconded by Councillor Texmo. All in favor? Carried. We have the minutes of the special council meeting held January 9th, 2024 for adoption. Moved by Councillor Tidbury, seconded by Councillor Dugas. Any comments? All in favor? Carried. We have the minutes of the special council meeting held January 17th for adoption. Moved by Councillor Tidbury, seconded by Councillor Darwood. Any comments, questions? All in favor? Carried. We have the minutes of the regular council meeting held January 9th, 2024 for adoption. Moved by Councillor Texwell, seconded by Councillor Tidbury. Any errors or omissions? All in favor? Carried. We have no delegations or requests. Business arising. We have our council action item report for information. Any comments?
If I can, Mayor, I just have one addition that we just got notification. I know it's not on the action list anymore, but it is still outstanding. Columbia's CCAN has been ordered. The site has been prepared by staff, and I just heard from the chair that the CCAN will be en route and will be installed.
Awesome. So I just want to, and I know that we've talked about this, about the waiting for the approval by the ARC branch on the project out at Beaver Harbor Park, and we're waiting for the permit. I'm just wondering if we should ask our MLA to get involved in that. Yes.
If I could. So I've reached out to both Baseline, which is the archaeologist. So I did that before Christmas, found out that it was still in the queue. I have reached out to the archaeological branch this week to let them know that we do have a deadline on the bequeath. We also have to secure the contractor, and that if we don't spend the money by December the 7th of 2024, that we won't have this money anymore. And with the fact that we do have a letter of support from the First Nation for the project to accompany that we're asking for an explanation. So I was told that I would get a response within 5 days. I think that if we don't get a favorable response within 5 days, then we can go to that step.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just.
It's good.
Okay,
Good,
That's
thank you.
something Michelle, you know,
Thank you.
thank you. Any other comments or questions? With the committee of the whole on December 12th, 2023, Fran Hunchinucci, the executive director, Aboriginal Coalition to End Homelessness Society, regarding the Sinala Culturally Supportive Housing Society, had two requests. The request was to provide land and that a member of the council be appointed to the Sinala Culturally Supportive Housing Society. We still have to discuss about the land, but there is a recommendation that I be appointed as the director to the Sinala Culturally Supportive Housing Society to represent the district of Port Hardy. Moved by Councillor Robertson, seconded by Councillor Texmo. Any comments? All in favor? Carried. 2024, the Association of Vancouver Island Coastal Communities call for resolutions. And I'm bringing forward the RSV vaccine resolution. And our CAO did up a great background on it, as well the rationale and the resolution. And I don't know if anyone else has any other resolutions they want brought forward, but this was one I thought was kind of timely for our community and was brought forward to me as a concern at the Hardy Bay Seniors Luncheon I attended a week or so ago, and I thought this is perfect timing with them coming up with AVICC.
I'll make this motion.
Thank you. Second by Councillor Robertson.
whoever, if you wrote or it was well.
Well, I started it. Our CAO polished it. So it was a joint effort, so thank you. All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Carried. New business, we have none in the agenda. We have correspondence, so we have a fair bit of correspondence.
Only some of it. We'll get to it.
We'll get to that. From Rebecca Bishop, LGPS Program Coordinator regarding the volunteer and composite fire department's equipment and training for information.
That's great news.
Great
Yeah.
news.
Mhm.
I agree. So that's good. Any other comments? We have from Ted Olnick, the Manager Community Relations, Vancouver Island, Sunshine Coast, BC Hydro, regarding our December 9th, 2023 extended power outage response for information. Any comments? Councilor Robertson?
I have some comments. I think, well, you know, I appreciate, and I appreciate that they have been working on the foliage, the vegetation control, and I mean, he was saying there's only one tree across the line. That's all it takes is one tree. And I understand it's difficult. But his fourth paragraph with regards to consideration for secondary transmission.
Basically, no.
Yeah, essentially, it's, we don't anticipate, it says, we don't anticipate the need here and the cost, we don't see the value in the cost. And I think it's truly, if there is ever an argument to be made, this is it. So, in other words, and my understanding, and I stand to be corrected on this, is that the existing lines are currently at capacity. And if it's not capacity, it's close to capacity. In terms of power going down, there's power generated from the Run River project and from the wind farm project. And that those lines will not accommodate
An expansion.
an expansion of wind farms.
You know, that's correct.
So, or any other Run River project. We currently, and we do have a government right now that's just committed through BC Hydro, an extra
36 billion.
over the next 10 years for green energy project, and I use green energy. So I think, and the potential up here, I mean, I've heard the North Island potential for wind energy is staggering. So, but it's not staggering if you can't ship the energy anywhere. So, and I know Councillor Dugas is concerned about this too and has talked. But I think at this point, particularly in light of the new money that's, we think it's new money, that's being committed towards projects, that the issue is not one with Hydro. They get to set their priorities, which is fine. It is one with the people who own Hydro, which is us, which is the people of BC. And so there, and the people who represent us, which is the government. So I believe we need to address that paragraph and say that we can't simply say, no, industry will never develop up here because there's not enough power. And for industry to come, anything to come by and say, well, sorry, we'd like to do something up here, but there's not enough power to establish a business, including a mine. Then I think the issue becomes one that we need to take on. And I know that you, that the mayor and Councillor Dugas have been working with the power group, North Island, but I think we do need to address it. Sorry, I'm rambling, but
So address it with our MLA.
with our MLA, with the minister responsible, to be quite honest, for Hydro, Josie Osborne.
Yeah.
But it's an issue that we need to say respectfully we disagree.
Not technical.
Is there information you can gather to tell you that the lines are at capacity and what actual power is available to be able to have that in a letter?
Yeah, it was part of the.
There was a study done,
Yeah.
Brian, that basically indicated that the lines that are going down now
Mhm.
won't take on any more power going south.
Yeah,
But they're saying that the loading at, well, in his letter, he's saying that the loading at this end doesn't constitute it increasing the size to give us power. But it doesn't say anything about power going south. And, with the Mount Washington Regional District, we have what they call Sustainable Power Task Force Group, which includes all the mayors and our indigenous nations.
Mhm.
And we're gonna get together here pretty quick, it sounds like, to meet and to have a conversation with our MLA, with Michelle Babchuk. And she actually got back to us right away and sent us an email saying that, wow, we got this 36 billion, we gotta get together and start talking about what we can do for the North Island. So she is definitely always been supportive of that.
Mhm.
And she's talked to many people down there about that, but then again, it's just about how much we can engage with them with regards to moving forward. BC Hydro has always been the same rhetoric as they said in the letter, you know?
yeah,
We'll do what we can about vegetation to try to, and we'll keep upgrading your system, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there's gonna be any more coming or any more going.
yeah.
So on the positive note, so I agree, we can follow up more, and I think the coalition will be following up for sure.
Yeah.
On a positive note, it was a short-term power outage. It could have been a whole lot longer. It could have been a whole lot worse because they couldn't fly the helicopters. It was a nasty night.
And others.
As well, from the outages from last year to this year, it's down by half due to the vegetation, so it's better. It's still not great. I'm not saying it's great, but it's certainly better than it was. Councillor Tidbury.
On another angle there, okay, this is what I learned at the TLA, is on and we in the district, signed up for the Fire Smart program, okay,
Mhm.
where we go around, clearing bush and stuff from around buildings and things like that, and in the parks and stuff like that. But my question is, how come hydro and highways don't do the same thing?
Push along the road, clean that up, like they did going down the highway.
Yeah,
I think you talked to them about that already.
we have
didn't you?
talked about that. Yeah, I can see on Nelson Smith.
Just to clarify, Hydro did clean up all of their trees. It was highways that the.
Yeah, and that's why I say both, because, coming up on the other day, I'm going, it's pretty thick in there.
Yeah.
We did bring that up with highways when we were at, UBCM.
Mhm.
So is there direction that you would like done with this, or just to make sure we follow up with the coalition and,
And if nothing is happening, it needs to be on our radar, which I think it is, but.
Yeah.
Mhm.
okay, so,
Maybe something to bring to UBCM as well.
Yes.
In the fall.
Mhm.
Put that on the probably.
so do we, to take it to UBCM for more support?
But we don't want to wait until UBCM to make that point. I think that's gonna be.
Yeah, I think
Yeah. I think that's happening fairly quick, I think,
I think so too.
through the RD.
Yeah.
Because they're leading on the task force group, so.
Okay, so we'll just keep it on our radar.
But I'll have to say one thing, can I say something?
Yes, sir.
We sent a letter not that long ago, and we got a reply very quickly.
Very.
That's the first time I've heard that quick of a response, even though the response is what it is. And I know that RD had just sent another letter that they just sent there last week, so we're assuming that we're gonna get the same response, but they're just gonna keep sending letters and making sure that when we do have power outages, they're gonna keep getting the same letters.
And you're right. I apologize. I should have started off with that. Yes, it is better than it was.
And they are
Yeah.
clearing trees
I was
a
looking.
lot more than they ever have before. And I think that has a lot to do with, us advocating hard at UBCM and advocating hard with our MLA and advocating with the coalition.
Yeah,
And so,
our Indigenous voice has really helped,
absolutely.
because they've been partners in this, so.
However, I do feel badly for the small communities like Cole
Oh,
Harbor
the Cole Harbor
and
gets hit hard.
Sontula that, went down on Christmas Day.
Yeah,
And Sontula was down Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So.
yeah,
it's
That second
challenging.
growth, man, it's bad news.
bad, it is.
Yeah, and that's what's doing it.
Okay, moving on, from Catherine Kennedy, the Executive Director of Communities in Bloom, regarding an invitation to participate in BC Communities in Bloom for information. Counselor Tidbury?
We were a member of this for a long time.
Mhm.
And, you may think from where it says communities in bloom, you may think it's gardens and things like that, but it's not. It concludes a lot of things, like, the avenue that led us down all the time was our hotels. We never got any further than just a recognition, but the quality of the hotels, the appearance of the hotels, really didn't get us any further.
Okay, thank you. And Counselor Dugas?
Well, I was just saying that, yeah, wasn't quite sure about how it all worked and whether we were gonna be members again, because there's a fee, obviously, depending on what you wanna be and grow, bloom.
And Trina can, echo just what I've been saying, but it was big when Trina was down at, Chamber there.
Yeah, and I know that
And,
there's, some people in the audience online that were very involved in it at that time
Yeah.
too.
Mhm.
But I think for it to go ahead, we would need to have, a lead on it. Someone that would, that, the chair of it or a sponsor of it, so.
So that's basically why we dropped it, because we weren't getting anywhere.
I wonder too, if we're successful in getting that grant to look at our downtown area and beautification of it, that this could maybe be added into it.
Oh,
Mhm.
it's all over the world, this program.
Yeah, no, I know about the program, but just if we get the grant and hiring the contractor to do the, looking at the downtown core, that certainly could be like looking at the hotels and what we could do to improve the outlook of the hotels and.
Mhm.
It's,
I just want to add that, I wasn't on council at the time that the communities in Bloom were on, but I remember Anita Sherbin doing an amazing job of the communities in Bloom, and I recall the frustrations.
Mhm.
Yeah, I believe there was a fair bit of time and energy and money put into beautifying Port Hardy, and it was still like he still couldn't sort of win an award, even though so much effort went. So anyways, that's just my recollection of it before.
Mhm.
So, and I think that operations, I think that our public spaces look quite good,
Yeah, they do.
They do.
operations does a nice job.
Yeah,
So,
great job.
We got ticks for that.
right. But we've kept it up even though we're not part of the
Yeah.
communities and Bloom. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always room for improvement, but I think our town's public spaces look
Yeah.
pretty good, so, no.
okay, so we'll just file for information, keep it in the back of our minds and go from there. We have from Kristen Clausen, the Executive Director, Heritage BC, regarding Heritage Week, February 19th, 25th, 2024. Comments?
Is that on our list?
Not yet. I don't believe so. It's not on one of the proclamations, is that one? No, sorry, that's the Darwood.
I know that the proclamations need council member to sponsor, and I know if Councillor Smith was here, she'd jump on this, so.
Yeah,
on her
well, I
behalf,
would.
then
Yeah.
I'll be the sponsor of this, would like to propose that Port Hardy recognizes Heritage Week 2024.
Thank you. Seconded by, thank you, by Councillor Tidbury. Any comments, questions? Dale Nelson Smith?
Did you also want to become a member?
Didn't see it. How much is it?
$100 per year.
We have money for that? We afford it.
I would like to make that as an amendment.
Or I think I have to amend mine, my son.
Yeah,
I meant
friendly.
to include that. We'll be a member.
Okay. Any other comments? All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. From Todd Doherty, MP, Caribou Prince George, Shadow Minister for Mental Health and Suicide Prevention regarding the 988 suicide prevention poster request. So I just, because, and I'm sure everyone knows someone in our community that has committed suicide, and I've known a few young people that have. And so when this came in, I really felt that I could bring this motion forward and how important it was. And I know it's across BC or across Canada, but did you know in 2018, the BC Coroner Services said the rate of suicide deaths are highest in North Vancouver Island, Okanagan, and Kootenay Boundary Health Services delivery area. And I just thought, oh, that's a horrible statistic. So if this 988 number helps someone not commit suicide, it would be amazing. So I don't know as a mayor if I can move it or if it has to be done by someone else, but I'm hoping it will be moved and seconded.
I can certainly make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Councilor Dugas. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Scott Maxwell, Executive Director, Wounded Warriors Canada, regarding the honor the fallen and help the living for information. So we have the Wounded Warriors coming and they have a couple of requests. But one of them is for us to make sure that we support them and recognize that they will be coming to town. And hopefully more than, Councilor Tidbury and I are at the, what is it, 6:25 in the morning.
That's right.
And,
So, if I can just
Councillor.
add on that, if the only thing, the request that, we basically do as a district is open the lobby of, the civic center. And so they can just gather there
Yeah.
for a little chat and
Did they
coffee.
did they get some food or something? I can't remember.
Yeah,
yeah, there's
They
usually,
get something, don't they?
yeah.
Yeah, we-
some Small
but,
breakfast.
but that's given, but
Yeah.
it's basically, that's what we provide. If that's okay.
And I have to say, you know, I've gone other years, but last year was the first time going as the mayor and how much they appreciated
Yeah,
having us there and recognizing that they are wounded warriors. They have served our country in one way or the other and, being thanked and being recognized is huge. So it's open to the public. It is early in the morning. However, it's just one morning to get up so early to go and recognize them and
Support
say
them.
thank you and support them.
Mhm.
That's February 25th. I just didn't see the date there.
It's in the
It's in the next one, I
it's in
think.
the title opener.
so, yeah, you turn to page,
February.
page 38. And it's down the bottom. And the night before, it's at the Legion. It's 6:25.
It's 6:25. I did say that, didn't I?
6:30. we'll grab a little bit. 5 minutes.
I somehow got off my page. All right, so then moving on to the, from Jacqueline Zhang, Wayne, Events Coordinator, Wounded Warriors Canada, regarding the Lake Brampton Aid requests for the Wounded Warriors Run 2024. So in that case, they're asking for a donation. Sorry, Counselor Dugas.
What did we donate last year? Do you remember? Or somebody does? Are you looking?
I'm just pulling it up,
I
yeah.
don't think,
I don't think it was
I don't think you did.
$2,000.
no,
No, we did give a donation.
We did something, but I don't think it was that.
Yeah,
like I say, the
no, we gave,
the lobby was appreciated.
yeah, but we also gave a monetary donation.
Yeah.
But not $2,000. Okay. Do you by chance, Director Isaac, know, how much money is left in the Lake Grant or in the Granton aid? We've got a few $1,000s in it.
Left over from last year,
Yeah,
$5,000.
5,000.
We donated $1,000 last year to the Wounded Warriors.
Oh, what's
Yeah.
1,000? No, that's nice.
Yeah. So is there any desire to donate this year as well?
I'd like to make that motion,
Council Ticker for
$1,000.
Second that.
second by Councillor Texmo. Any comments? All in favor? Carried. From Allison Weber, Principal, Fort Rupert Elementary School, a Lake Brampton aid request for Missoula Children's Theater. So Allison actually is looking for the Civic Center donation. So I'm not sure, have they booked already for the Civic Center during?
I don't know that I have. But, if, maybe if, what you could consider is waiving the fee for the cleaning.
Yeah, what's that? 156.
For regulation, you have the booking information.
Yeah, do you have the booking information, Director Call?
I don't have it in front of me, but I can certainly get that information.
Okay. So how much is the, how much would the cleaning fee be?
120, isn't it? Depends on how many people.
Yeah.
And so are they, it's for a whole week, isn't it, from the 12th to the 17th?
I,
Whole week?
But is it the whole week at this?
Oh, they said we have the Civic Center reserved for this event and we're hoping the entire rental amount will be covered by the town of Fort Hardy.
The two performances on the 17th.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So. Sorry. CEO Nelson Smith.
So we can't waive the fee, we have to give them the cost
Mhm.
in order to cover the fee.
Okay.
Our fees and our, grant and aid regulation says that we can't waive fees set in by law, but we can give money to pay.
How much is the fee?
We'd have
It was
Calculate
booked
that.
through the
Will.
Lions Club, I'm not sure what the fee is.
no, the fee comes from the district.
For cleaning in
Oh,
the.
just the
That's,
cleaning.
you notice I said clean, I didn't, say anything about the,
The Lions have already donated the
yeah,
space.
yeah.
Will the new rates and fees bylaw coming up in the agenda have the rate
So it's 220, yeah.
for a day? How much is the rental? Sorry.
The rental is
they're covering it.
It's
That's,
covered.
Lions.
the Lions are
All lines
covering the
covered,
rent.
Donated.
But what's
Yeah.
not covered right now is the
It's the
cleaning,
cleaning.
Cleaning.
and it's $220. I'll make a motion to support them in the amount of $220.
A second.
They're just using it for one day.
And that's what I was wondering, is it 220 per day? Or is, and if it's only for one day that they've booked, that's fine, but if they've booked all week.
Yeah, from the 12th to the 17th.
Yeah, that's per event, so
that's what
I would cover.
So what was that?
It's per event.
Oh, so it would cover the whole event?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Mm.
All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. We have no committee reports. Staff report from Noah May Isaac, Director of Financial Services, our 2023 quarter 4 operations expenditure report for information.
Well, thank you, Mayor. And just on the last piece with the Warriors, we did have $1,000 in our grant made when we did it for 2024.
Oh,
That's
We had put it in because we did it last year and we figured they were coming back. I just.
Oh, right, yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
So our report. Like to say that I'm really pleased that we were able to have quarterly reports on a timely manner throughout the whole year. It makes a nice difference for everybody. Not only for council, but you know, to be able to keep an eye on it and keep yourself on task and making sure that you're watching what's going on and to be able to help prepare for the next one. This year, I was really pleased because I felt last year I came in with a pretty aggressive approach to the budget by not going with just a, 2 or 3% increase overall and looking at it line by line with all the team members and, department heads, directors, getting everybody's input so that we could have it come in as close as we can. So you're not having, an implication of having funds that you don't need budgeted for. And then of course the tax piece of it that comes into play. So coming in at 9% overall, and then of course you take the pool out because we really did budget thinking we were gonna get it partway through. We ended up coming down to 7%, which that I think anytime you can come in under 10 or between 10, you're really getting yourself pretty close. I found that when you look over some of the ones where we were over budget, a lot of them are smaller budgets. So it only takes $3,500 or, a 15, whatever, and it bumps them over quite easily. And they're the harder ones to sometimes budget for. And there was a couple, certainly a common thread that came up throughout was labor. And so this year I've started quite a comprehensive spreadsheet to be able to get labor and have it so that we're basing it on this year's actuals and different rates. And last year I didn't have the students in the budget without even thinking about it. And also the other part of it was overtime. And Public Works, their overtime is more often than not double time because they're call-outs. So their call-outs go to double time. And so this spreadsheet, I feel, be able to help me take, say, Public Works supervisor, where you look at the parks, most of the stuff that's within parks is not supplies that we're spending our money on. It's the labor going down to do what needs to be done down there. So if I take and work with her to get kind of her schedule of where she's going and the pieces where she thinks this year she'll be spending more time there, then that'll help to be able to divvy up what those wages are with the students and, her wages as well, and connect them into hopefully get a bit more even line. Then the other one that was the cemetery. Of course, it looks like it's huge over budget, which it is, but that is another one was labor. But also we had, we're paying excavating costs at a flat rate of 8 hours for them to come out. Now we've got our own excavator and we'll be using that. So I think that that'll help with some of those and getting a good idea of how to budget for it. Last year I used a 5-year average, but that didn't turn out very good. And but now with the opioid crisis and stuff, it's really hard to know how to manage that kind of a budget. So we're thinking that maybe starting a reserve where you can, you know, the end of the year, you've got funds there, you move it over to your reserve and you go back, and we're not gonna have the implications on our tax by trying to put a budget together for something that really is out of your control. You know, you don't have somebody that can be watching it and going, hey, guys, we're going over budget. And then, then I kind of went back and looked at some of the ones where we were under. And, most of them are not anything that's, you're always gonna have, like, we've got some of our big budgets where we're gonna come under budget, and that helps to give us our 10% or whatever. Some of them are, again, they're out of your control. The administration looks like it's, you know, what was it, 80,000 under budget, but 6%. That was part of it. We lost Ross in August, early September. And then the other piece of it was, legal contingencies. So we didn't have as many legal fees as what we thought. You can't very well take those two pieces and change that. I had, transportation, 18%. And again, that's, I think, working this year with, the public works supervisor will help, because we didn't have hardly any money. We budgeted for ditching and we didn't do much in there. Sidewalk maintenance there was quite a bit of money left over there, grading and shouldering. So I think by working and going, okay, so this year, do you think you're gonna have a lot of ditching that you're gonna be doing? And let's not just kind of, yeah, we'll need that money there and that. And so just in preparation for the 2024 budget, I've been doing quite a bit of thinking, and that all comes back to being able to do quarterly reports, because you're looking at it going, oh, okay, why are we going over there? And we've talked about, you know, the litter baskets, right? And the difference on that. And Heather's had some good ideas on thoughts about, you know, she was talking to me about, well, she's seen these litter baskets that are censored. So you could have like the litter baskets that are out at Stories Beach censored, so that you don't have somebody using an hour of time to drive out to see if they need to be emptied or not. So by doing things like that, we changed the litter baskets to being smaller this year, and we talked about that, I think, in our Q1 report, where smaller holes and different, so people aren't putting their household garbage in there, and that changed that. So we're gonna have less expenses next year, hopefully, with that. So if we can think of another way through Public Works that'll help us out, that'll make that maybe a bit more easier too. And then the sewer was the other one, 16%, but that was just the airport wastewater treatment plant didn't have as much expenses, and the lift stations didn't have as much as what we budgeted for. And when you get into those big budgets with the wastewater services and water services, I think you'd be really happy if you're always coming in at that 10 or 16%, because that's still pretty close on such a big budget. Then thought somebody might just want to know what our service was after we did all that, because we've talked about expenses all the way through the year. 3,000, we budgeted to have 1.7. The budget for a 1.7 surplus came in with a 3. And the big pieces of that with 3 million as a surplus. So we actually were like, 1.3 million on our surplus that we didn't end up spending, saved deficit. So then, but we budgeted $500,000 for our interest and penalties in revenue. and we came in at 1 million. And a big piece of that was $819,000 on our bank interest revenue. And we're not budgeting for that this year because the rates are already talking about bringing them down, and so we'll go back down low and just hope that we get another bunch of money in there, which is nice to be, because that all gets allocated over our reserves and surplus accounts. So we'll allocate all that out, and then that money helps for sure with the pool. And then the penalties for within the taxes, we had like penalties for taxes, interest on tax arrears, interest on delinquents. That was another $160,000, which brings us up to that 980. And then there's the penalties with water and sewer. Water was 13,000 and the sewer was 15. So that made a big difference on there when you doubled your budget for your revenue, right? And then there was a couple of others that weren't not big. The fire department, they had an extra $54,000 in there, and that was actually 45 of that was going to Kelowna to assist with that fire. So you didn't budget for that either. And I think that's the end of my presentation. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions? Counselor Dukes?
No question, just a comment. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's great information. It's very, very comprehensive, and it's, yeah. It's what we've been missing in the past, and we really appreciate all the work that you put into that. So thanks.
I agree. Thank you. Heather Nelson Smith, our Chief Administrative Officer, regarding the Active Community Grant Program. And there is a recommendation. CEO Nelson Smith, do you want to talk to this?
Yeah, so just to kind of give you a bit of background, so you've got the report in front of you. We applied for it for the first time last year. This was to get a wild safe coordinator in the community. As some of you may know, unfortunately, Councilor Smith isn't here to be able to articulate for me as well. But we had some difficulty in getting somebody to fill that position last year. They did hire somebody who unfortunately wasn't in the community and then kind of went did something else, and we don't really know what happened. And so we didn't end up funding that portion ourselves out of our $4,000 contribution into it. But what we were able to do is, of the $4,000 that we had left over, we were able to roll that into Sarah Salter. And with some convincing, and we already knew that she would have been the perfect candidate, being that she's been with the Bear Smart Committee since we started in 2016. And her passion for wildlife and bears, it's been great having her on board. And what we've done is we've actually tailored the program a little bit differently. So normally the program would run in the summer months, but the wildlife coordinator that was hired is busy in the summer months. So what we've done is worked with WildSafe to create a fall and spring campaign that she would then run, and then we'd have social media stuff that would all start playing out during the summer months. But she would get ahead of the hyperphagia, and then also into the bear season starting up again in the spring. So what I'm requesting is that we apply again in order to continue to keep supporting that and allow her to bloom into 400 hours of service, because now that she's been trained, she'll just need to be topped up. And then WildSafe has been a really great program. They don't let us call it Bear Smart though, unfortunately. So we have to have WildSafe and a Bear Smart program at the same time. But the nice thing is we have the merriment of being able to pull people from our committee to be able to support Sarah in that. And then of course with her now getting out to the schools, she's done a couple of booths. She's been doing door-to-door campaigns. She's got a great rapport with the conservation service. And now we've also branched out into cougars and other kinds of wildlife. And so it's a great opportunity for her to flourish and pass out some more information.
Stephen Hancock, Councilor?
No.
Councilor Cass?
I'll make that motion.
Seconder?
Second.
Second by Councilor Dorward. Any comments? Councilor Dugas?
So we're gonna be looking at increasing the budget then?
So, if I may.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mayor. We did increase the budget last year, so we added $2,000 from another portion of the already existing budget within there and took it from there from contract services to beef up the Bear Smart budget in order to accommodate that. So now we're looking at, we currently have $7,000 in the budget for Bear Smart on an annual basis rather than $5,000. And we've depleted contracted services on the other side.
So that's the statement in there that says the committee is looking to increase the annual budget by 2,000. It's
Yes.
already there.
It was there for 2023, and I'm asking for you
Oh,
to continue.
okay. That's why I'm asking. Yeah, yeah. So Brian made the motion. didn't he?
Yeah, moved and seconded.
So you knew that was in there then, right?
I've read it,
You're a good man.
yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
I'm good.
okay. Any other questions, comments? All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Our Heather Nelson Smith, Chief Administrative Officer regarding the Active Community Grant Program. And again, there's a recommendation.
I don't know if you want me to highlight that we have been fighting for many, many, many years to get
I do
access
want
to
you
this kind of
highlight that,
funding.
please.
Yeah, please highlight.
So it's with great excitement that we actually have the opportunity to be able to apply for funding that will increase activities and make it barrier-free for individuals within our community to be able to go forward. Given that council has been actively talking about barrier-free programs and the opportunity of providing free public swimming and public skating to the community, this grant would help fund that cost. And as you can see, I kind of broke it down a little bit just to kind of give
Yeah.
council a bit of an idea, just in terms of what the financial aspects are. So if we go back to 2018, when everything was running fully, public skating was bringing in roughly about $5,000 worth of revenue, and public swimming was bringing in about $44,000 worth of revenue. So a total revenue of about $49,000. But we already know, if I actually did the calculation of how many swims we had in a year based on that 44,000, it worked out to $185 on average that we were bringing in for a public swim. And that would also include toonie swims as well, which are our highest access. But when we started integrating in 2018, the free swim and free skate days that we were offering once a month, our numbers went from a toonie swim of being like somewhere around the 50 to 70 to over 100 people coming to those opportunities. So this would increase people's access to recreation. It would limit people from having to prove their need in order to gain access, to allow more opportunities for people to take advantage of more things within the community. Start us off on a bit of a pilot project to see how it runs and how things are going. And we already know we have to have 3 people on the deck to be able to supply the service to the community. So it's actually not increasing our costs very much. So I remember talking to lifeguards, one of them happened to be related to me, who, had said that 5 people showed up for a public swim today. And, that's unfortunate because then you're paying for these 3 people to stand on the deck. And so what a great opportunity to be able to offer something where now we've got people being stimulated in their job, in their career, and their opportunity for advancement, as well as allowing the community to be able to have an opportunity. So I would be requesting that council support an application that would ask for $50,000 in order to help offset the costs that we would be recovering for that program.
I'll make that motion.
Thanks.
Second that.
Second by Councillor Textall. Any comments? Councillor Robertson?
Yeah, we've been talking about this for a while. I know,
Yeah, it's nothing.
it's, I think it's important in our community to have a village for recreation. And I know when I mentioned at the Foundry meeting, that this is part of actively being discussed, that there was people that need to hear that.
Thank you. And I have
And thank you for doing it.
Yes, thanks, Councillor Smith, for doing this. But also, when I first came on council, Councillor Robertson was an active proponent about barrier-free programming. And so I'd like to also highlight, thank you. And he's made all of us much more aware of it. And we've had presentations before from Don Catler on barrier free. So we've had presentations over the years, and so hopefully we get this grant, but if we don't get this grant, we still will be talking about it, trying to figure out a way of making it barrier free. Speaking of which, before we go to vote, do you know when we'll find out?
The deadline is on the 5th of February, and they're saying that they're giving like a 30 to 45 day window. But in order to support council's strategic vision as well, one of the things that we're also aligning with the budget is we were getting that $50,000 as an annual grant made from the regional district in Mount Washington, which could also help to support the barrier-free programming, at least to get us up and started and help to offset those costs.
Mhm,
Okay, thank you.
If that's the direction that council wishes.
mhm.
Thank you. No other comments or questions?
Just a little comment with regard to that. I don't know that Councilor Robertson we talked about this many times, and thank you again, Fred, for being an advocate for that and pushing for it, because I think that's important. But the other thing at our RD meeting here, just started last week, that Mayor Fernie brings it up more than one occasion with regards to free swimming that they had last summer and how great of turnout there was for that, and the community was really elated at the fact that that was available to them. So I think that it gives a pretty good idea that what we can do here, but we do know that our costs are significantly higher than what theirs are gonna be, but that's what we're here for though, right? To provide that service. So I think this is great. Thank you. I'm glad that it's available. We can apply for it.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So, all in favor? Any opposed? Carried. We have bylaw number 1170-2024, officers and delegation bylaw for first, second, and third reading. CEO Nelson Smith, do you want to talk about this bylaw a little bit?
Yeah, if I may, thank you, Mayor. So this is just bringing us up to date with what's been going on and just kind of cleaning up the officers bylaw. You will recall that the last officers bylaw was a job description bylaw, which was kind of fun. So this is actually just delegating the powers and functions to individuals within the community charter. And then the job descriptions themselves will reference back to the officer positions. And then this just gives council the authority to then add one additional officer, which is a deputy corporate officer, which we will be making an announcement with regards to Elizabeth Bates taking on the deputy corporate officer. And should this bylaw pass, bust now at this point in time, your officers will be all taking a oath at the next meeting in order to update all of our pledges of allegiance, because currently right now, I know myself and your chief financial officer have taken an oath to the Queen and pledged our allegiance to the Queen. So it's about time that we take that wording out of our oath of office. So that is also attached to the schedule. And so this is it in front of you.
So, go ahead.
I'm just gonna make a motion for the first, second, and third reading of this bylaw.
Do I have a second for the Councilor Robertson? I just have one comment, and it's just a little bit of housekeeping under, some of them, the bullets need to be corrected.
So I'm just noticing that now, and I don't know if it was an upload error.
Yeah, because I didn't notice it before.
No, so we'll fix all of that, because it was under the chief administrative officer where I saw AA, and then after everything else, it's AA, BB, CC, DD. That was not what we had.
Well, that's what I figured. So it's a little housekeeping
Yes.
there.
We'll fix that up for them.
The lady for the chief administrative officer.
Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Thank you. Then we have bylaw number 1171-2024, user rates and fees for the year of 2024 for first, second, and third reading. Moved by Councilor Dorwell, seconded by Councilor Texmer. Any comments or questions? Councilor Robertson?
No, I
Really
mean,
good, just-
it's, yeah. Trying to remember that stuff. Yeah.
It's something we've been working on, and unfortunately we have to do.
We have no
Increases.
choice.
We have no choice, and as much as we would prefer not to do any increases, there have to be some increases. All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. We have one pending bylaw number 1164-2023 amendment to zoning bylaw number 1010-2013. Council reports. Councilor Tipperary.
Well,
Chomping at the bit.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Truck loggers.
Truck Loggers Convention. I attended it, this year by myself.
Yes.
Sorry, John.
Okay, it's just a fantastic convention. I can't express enough about this, the people that organize this convention are really on the ball. And one of the nicest things is that it's held all in one place and all the seminars are all together. So there's no separate seminars here and there and there. No. So it's really good. The moderator is one of the best that I know. He's just it's Von Palmer that writes for the Sun, and I think he does on the radio too. He's an amazing character. And you get visions also. We get the premier coming and talking, as well as the Minister of Forest coming and talk to us, as well as the Chief Forester. And it's a lot of good information. And I'm pleased that I'm able to attend this on behalf of the Port Hardy. Because it is a well-worth convention.
How many did Port McNeil, Sam?
Two members from Port McNeil. The local government is increasing its numbers. There's a few more that I've seen there this time that I haven't seen in the past. So that's nice to know. And the other things I did the opening of the CT scan, and we had a Philomy Days meeting.
Yeah. So with the Philomy Days committee, do you have enough people?
We're never enough people.
Never enough.
Just checking.
No, never enough people. But I might add that the convention, okay, the logging industry is gonna be going on hard times. It's,
Yeah.
their fiber supply is drying up real fast. So that's, and it was notable at the convention because the trade show was only about 50% full. It was really empty.
Yeah, down.
But apparently there was some good stuff that made it to some people.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can give you a hat if you want.
Okay, fine, have some teas.
Those are my favorite ones. Like those ones.
Yeah,
Okay,
Thank you.
the swag captain himself.
yeah,
Counselor Dugas, I'll get you off the hot seat.
thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Yeah, Mayor and I attended our RD meeting. And I know that one of the things that I'd been asking for was a letter to be sent to BC Hydro, and it did get sent. So we got a copy of that, so that was great. We had a great presentation from Seven Hills Golf, the golf club, and man, they're doing good.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of work still to be done, and obviously they want support from the RD, which I'm sure that we could give them, or at least I got my vote. But they definitely need support, and they do great work for for this north end of the island. Considering that it's a nonprofit society. I mean, they work hard to make it happen, so that's awesome. The Sustainable Power Task Force Group will be meeting here shortly. I was talking to CAO David Kim, and he said that they'll try to get a meeting going, hopefully beginning of February, so we can get together with everybody and then sort of have Michelle Babchuck attend and maybe get BC Hydro to come and explain their letter a little bit more in detail. We had a Vintas directors meeting that's coming up. Getting prepared with that, I had an opportunity to talk to Jackie Chalice at the RD, our act dev person. Man, she's a go-getter. She's gonna be great. She's really good. And that's gonna happen this Thursday at the community, Foundry. Not Foundry, Community Futures, I should say, in Port Neal at 10:45. So we're gonna have that in person and on Zoom for people to attend, so we can sort of plan out what we're gonna do for this year. North Island Seniors Housing Foundation, we had a notification from BC Housing that said that hopefully they'll be able to let us know what's happening in February. So that's only a couple more weeks away, so we're really anticipating a positive response this time, hopefully. I had a chance to get together with Dawn and Mary and talk about our learning council that's gonna come up in February. She's really reaching out to a lot of people to try to make a little bit more impact with regards to what North Island Community College could do with regards to training, you know, for all the trades and different people. I mean, they've been doing a terrific job to date, and they're going to continue to do that for us. So that's awesome. We had a Vintage marketing meeting just on January the 17th, and yeah, it's great. I mean, what they're doing right now for that is amazing. You know, Megan Hansek, she's a dynamiter and she gets things done, and there's a lot of things happening. So if you had a chance, go on My Vancouver North and by Vancouver Island.
Yes.
North, is it?
Yeah.
I believe I'm saying that right. And they've got a lot of really good information and videos and all kinds of things that's happening up there. And we're getting a lot of hits from all over, so it's awesome. Great. So anyways, that's it for me. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilor Robertson?
Thanks. Just briefly, there's continues to be ongoing issue with the library that is taking lots of time. People concerned about library policy. And so that's an ongoing issue and it takes lots of time. I was actually able to go to the CT, opening of the CT scan, which had already been used a lot by then. It was kind of cool. But I might mention this and maybe repeating myself in the last meeting, but it's very cool. And the mayor was able to get a picture with her head in the donut.
I haven't seen it. I don't know if I want to either.
There's a couple other things that I'm not sure about but right now, but I was at the Foundry meeting as well, and excuse me, and very informative meeting and quick and to the point, and the Foundry is going through some staffing changes, just redefining, doing some of that things, and have reached out to Bella Bella and are working with youth from Bella Bella. And youth from Bella Bella will, for virtual appointments, but also they will be coming to town, a group will be coming to town. And I didn't write down what the date was, but on a Saturday, coming in with fair sort of thing. So that's actually kind of cool. Good for them for that. So that's me.
Thank you. Councilor Gold?
Yeah, I attended a board meeting for the Association of Vancouver Island Coastal Communities, getting in high gear for the conference April 11th or April 12th to 14th. I hope that all of our council gets to attend. There's a lot of, information sessions and speakers and interactive sessions that are really pertinent. I really try to keep it on what the pulse is of all of the communities, so stuff that's important. So I think it's really maybe even more important than UBCM in some ways. Not more important, but in some ways it's really more pertinent to our area. So
Closer to home.
do I sound like I'm selling it?
Yeah, you are.
So yeah, so lots of stuff going on there, lots of meetings right now because of the upcoming conference. That's it for me.
Thank you. Councilor Texma?
So in camera meeting on the 17th, kind of more talking about North Island College. I received a few phone calls about, talking to them about, like a beginner trades course for electrical and answering some questions that might help them decide whether it's worth it or not for them to bring a course up here or another one for Campbell River, answering some questions for them. I think there's a lot because it's the trades up here, regardless of how industry seems to dwindle a little bit, the trades are all still busy. Like every company, trades company is flat out and looking for more people. I've even hired like 2 new guys. It's that busy. So letting them know like, hey, like there is a growing demand on every side of the trade, whether it's residential, commercial, industrial, automation and control, all of it, it's growing. So hopefully that can help them out. Another thing, so we had that really bad cold snap. Was it last Thursday over the weekend? Trying to remember what it was, but anyways, it started on a Thursday and I was concerned about how many people would be out on the streets at nighttime. So I did a drive around with a few friends and, with some coffees and some blankets and food and whatnot, just to see who'd be around. And on Thursday nights, to my surprise, there was only 1 person out, which is good. It means that the shelter is doing a good job bringing in people and people knew about it. And when I talked to that gentleman, he planned on going. And then the next night, Friday night, there was only 2 people and they were well aware that the shelter was open. So I just want to kind of mention that they did a good job making sure that everybody had a place to go during this cold snap and not seeing people sitting on the street and sleeping on the streets like last year that I seen was welcoming. So yeah, so
Awesome.
other than that, that's it for me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Brian. So, I'd like to just follow up on that before I go into my report. I would like to thank our CAO, Nelson Smith, with her reaching out to all the different agencies in town, making sure that our vulnerable population were going to be taken care of, that we weren't going to have any statistics, if at all possible. And so thank you.
Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, and thank you to all the agencies that have worked together so well in helping out as much as they can possibly help out. So, yeah.
Yeah, did a great job. Like compared to last year, there was a lot of people out, and this year everyone had a place to go.
Yeah.
Everyone knew about it. So yeah, it's great.
No, it was really, our CAO and I were texting back and forth.
Good for you guys. Well done. It's
Yeah,
great.
so, no, it's all about Heather, and, thank you.
You're welcome.
So for myself, although when I looked at my schedule, I didn't think I was that busy, but I've had numerous preliminary phone calls and emails about various prospective initiatives in the community and about possible meetings, and none that are set yet, but it's just like, okay, yeah, they're not necessarily scheduled in my on my calendar, but I thought if I went through my text messages and my emails and my phone calls, it's that, okay, I was kind of busy. I had a local mayor's meeting with Island Health with an update around the doctors and the nurses, the lab techs, the x-ray technicians, and reiterating that we still want 24/7 ER and we still want doctors, and it's starting to look promising with doctors coming. It's starting to look a lot more promising with the doctors coming up here. Nurses are still a concern, but they figure with the initiative that they've got in the partnership with Northern Health, that it's going to help with the nurses. Lab techs and x-ray techs are an ongoing issue that if anyone knows any lab techs or x-ray techs, to try and pull them in. So it's still a recruitment and a retention issue, but they're working hard in trying to entice people to come and for people to stay. At the RD meeting, I would like to echo Councillor Dugas's comments about the presentation from Seven Hills Golf Course, and what a good presentation they gave, and what they were doing as a society and nonprofit to keep that golf course going, and how good it was, and how they thought once COVID was over that the numbers would tank. but the numbers have not. And as well, the junior programs are really increasing and trying to get more clinics to entice juniors into the club.
Mhm.
But they also gave a thanks out to the District of Port Hardy for, and I'm not sure if I've got the name of the machine right, the top dressing machine that, the town has lent the golf course for many years to, keep the greens going. So, they were very appreciative. So just letting our new, Director of Operations know that that is,
They're coming after you.
they probably will be approaching you.
No.
So our CEO and Councillor Tidbury and I attended a virtual BC Biodiversity and Ecosystem Health Framework update.
Yeah.
Which was, a little dry.
To say the least.
But, it was if you go through the framework and all the rest of it, it's interesting. It covers everything from the forests to, the lands and the animals and everything, showing how everything is interconnected. And so if you get an email about attending one, which I think there's another one coming up, that it is kind of interesting to know what's going on, and it covers all of BC and just showing the integration.
So when it says the two zones, north or south, you're in the south zone.
Except there was people from the north and the south zone. See, all of them.
They like me got mixed up.
Spies.
And I think too, with the Foundry, they've formed a bit of a partnership with our recreation department, and they've got an event happening, and I just think that's a really, really nice, connection.
Mhm.
Yeah, so thank you. So that's it for me. All right, we've got information and announcements. We've got a number of things coming up, a number of meetings that are coming forward. Any errors on that, CEO Mrs. Smith?
I just wondered if before the meeting closed, if you saw maybe a full update, but I'll let you finish.
Oh, yes,
Just
please.
before I close the meeting.
Thank you. That's right. We had talked about doing a brief update on the pool. So if you want to do that now,
If everybody's okay with that.
please.
So we did a fun walkthrough today, with Stantec Engineering on the 2 phases of the pool project that are closely coming to a close. We are currently scheduled to have the majority of all of the mechanical and electrical works done for next Wednesday, so that we can start filling the pool with water starting somewhere around the 31st of January. It's going to take roughly about 3 days in order for us to fill the pool. So once we get the green light, we'll start filling. And then they can start doing their commissioning and their inspections, which should take roughly about 2 weeks. So we're looking at the handover of the pool happening sometime in mid-February. And of course, then we have training and getting everybody onboarded in order to go forward. And that's with everything coming into alignment. We have a couple of individuals that we have to coordinate, 2 contractors being the 2 main things. The other thing is an island health inspector to make time available, because we currently don't have one here in Port Hardy. So we're bringing somebody up from Campbell River. And then the commissioning gets done by another individual. Stantec will then come and sign off on the pool once all the commissioning is completed, and then we will be able to issue final occupancy once everything is okay. And so we're pretty excited. We've got lots of other things that are going on as well that we've added to the project just to make sure it's got a bit of a fresh face. It's not going to be, you're walking into a brand spanking new facility. It is a retrofit. So I just want everybody to be very clear that it is a retrofit. So the change rooms are still going to look like the changing rooms, and the majority of the tile around the outside of the building is gonna look like the old tile, but the inside of the pool, I do have to say, extremely bright. The lighting that was put in there, it's definitely gonna improve safety and improve the aesthetics of the pool itself. The liner is white with beautiful black lines, which will be great for that reflection and being able to see what's going on within the pool itself. And then, of course, if you look at the mechanical systems, I don't know if anybody's ever been in the pool pump room in the last however many years, but It is all brand new inside of there, all of the equipment. But of course, we're still within a 50-year-old building. So everything around it is still aging, but everything in it is state of the art. And we definitely have some great opportunities there for lots of fun that's going to happen. The only thing that I can say from the perspective of the district is we need lifeguards. We need people to come forward who want to operate the pool, because without people on the deck to stop you from doing anything you're not supposed to be doing and to protect your safety, that's basically what we're looking for. So if anybody knows any lifeguards, or people who are aspiring lifeguards, we will obviously be running training programs and things like that as well. So if anybody who wants to know anything should call Tammy's department, and find out how to get on the list.
Thank you.
Just before we adjourn, I just had a question as well. Thank you. It's a great update. Of course, we heard it earlier too. Not to sound surprised now, but, on the RCMP Appreciation Day, are we having an event we did last year?
We were talking about that, but I think we're going to just go over to the RCMP station, because it was really challenging for them to come over here last year, and they came and left really early and quickly, so we thought we would go over there.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions? So before we adjourn, the final one, I would just like to thank our Director of Recreation, Tanya, for all her hard work this past 3 years. We really appreciate you, and we're going to miss you. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
And on that note, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Councillor Dorward, adjourned. Any questions? Yes.
Pertaining to Tanya and your under director of the last 3 years, your work order that you've done in that arena. My husband and I went first time in 7 years in there. We had to come up for the tournament. And I was just appalled by the ceiling.